Did Finance Minister Mboweni deliver the speech that people expected him to? We speak to Abdul Azeez Davis from Khasiso Asset Management. Salam Abdul Azeez.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Did Minister Tito Mboweni deliver the speech that people expected him to?
I think the market reaction has been quite negative thus far, and I think, as with most things, there was a lot of hype with his appointment coming on as finance minister, and with most of reality, once you build up somebody with so much hype, the reality will always disappoint, and that's exactly what we've seen with the rand reaction today as well.
Do you think South Africa looks better or worse to investors after this mini budget?
I think the metrics we typically look at, your growth rate in terms of GDP, your debt to GDP numbers, all of those metrics have gone a lot worse. So they've revised growth from 1.5% to 0.7%. That's almost a halving of growth rate for the current year and for future years. And then also the debt numbers. So our debt to GDP is much higher than what was anticipated in the February budget. So that has gone from 55% to almost 57% in the current period. And then also going close to the 60% self-imposed ceiling that we've imposed on ourselves as well. So I think you'll have to pull a rabbit out of the hat to really stay within that 60% in the future years. And I think the last metric we typically look at is the composition of your revenue. And there we know that part of the revenue shortfall is as a result of VAT refunds, which is a structural thing. I mean, it's admin people, you've got accountants there, input VAT, output VAT, all of those metrics. And basically what SARS has been doing is withholding refunds. So that's monies that are due to businesses, companies, etc. And effectively what's now happening is that because of that backlog and having to clear that backlog, they on a net basis are not generating enough revenue. So our composition is also a lot worse as well, unfortunately.
Do you think ratings agencies will take well overall to this budget?
So I think,
mini budget.
Yeah, so that's a very good question. And that's actually the 4 trillion rand question, effectively, if you look at our GDP number. And the reason for that is that Moody's is the last rating agency that hasn't downgraded South Africa, and they've been the one that have been most positive. So most recently, as the conference this week, they cited the political will to remedy the situation as a huge positive. By all accounts, they should have downgraded before, and these numbers wouldn't inspire a lot of confidence. But I think we're living on a hope and a prayer as a country, and we will probably have to draw on a lot more of that goodwill as opposed to the actual numbers.
Is the hope and prayer enough? What should we be doing as a country?
Yeah, I think unfortunately from my vantage point, there's a lot of structural issues and deficiencies that have built up over the last 10 years. And the chickens are coming home to roost right now. So Mr. Mboweni has been dealt a terrible and cruel hand, unfortunately. We know the issues and the state capture inquiries and all of that has highlighted the issues with SARS in particular. And unfortunately, he can only do so much. So the turnaround in the overall of SARS will take, I think, at least a couple of months, if not years. You need confidence in the economy, confidence within business to come through. That also takes time as well. So unfortunately, time, and we don't have the luxury of time. But time is what we need to remedy the situation. Yes.
Thank you so much, Abdul Azeez.